This young woman, Angela, was in her 20s. She was so happy on the phone with her boyfriend, Antonio. Their relationship was going well, and they eventually married. Their wedding day was one of the most beautiful moments of their lives. Family and friends were present, offering prayers and blessings. Laughter and happiness filled the room. Afterward, they began their new life by buying a simple apartment in a small city. It might not have been luxurious, but it was enough to be a home for their dreams. Their happiness was further enhanced when Angela became pregnant with a baby girl. They eagerly awaited the arrival of their child. When the baby was finally born, they named her Alicia, a name they chose with great hope, prayer, and affection. They hoped that Alicia would grow up to be a loving child who would make her family proud. Furthermore, Angela and Antonio also adopted a boy named German. Their happiness was even more complete. However, German no longer lived with them and was being cared for elsewhere by a responsible family. They even celebrated Antonio's birthday warmly, complete with gifts. However, life wasn't always smooth sailing. The first trial came when it was discovered that Alicia had an illness that sometimes caused sudden shortness of breath. The doctor advised Alicia to avoid excessive strenuous activity or fatigue. He also prescribed treatment and medication to help maintain her health. Antonio continued his work as usual, though his mind was often filled with worry. Meanwhile, one day, Angela was in the library and accidentally ran into an old friend named Roberto. They had attended the same school, and Roberto was Angela's junior. The meeting was an unexpected reunion as they caught up after a long absence. Roberto was still single and focused on his career and himself. A short time later, another problem arose. The company where Antonio worked was experiencing problems, and due to efficiency measures, his salary was reduced. This situation forced them to be more careful in managing their expenses. Antonio reminded Angela not to buy unnecessary items too often. Despite this, they still tried to maintain marital harmony amidst the pressures. One day, Angela asked Antonio's permission to go see a friend. She ended up meeting Roberto. Initially, the meeting was limited to seeing an art exhibition and having a meal together. However, the meeting escalated to spending the night together and becoming intimate. It seemed Angela was starting to feel bored with Antonio. Afterward, Angela returned home as usual, as if nothing had happened. She even apologized to Antonio for feeling she had been a bad wife. Antonio didn't understand what she meant. Perhaps Angela regretted what she had done to Antonio. They still tried to spend time together to maintain their relationship, including traveling together and spending time like a normal married couple. They also stayed at a villa and were intimate. However, one day, Alicia accidentally opened Angela's phone to find a message. It was from Roberto, who said he missed her and wanted to see her. Upon learning this, Antonio was angry and disappointed. He finally realized that Angela had betrayed him. Despite his anger, Antonio didn't overreact. He simply demanded an explanation from Angela. Angela admitted her mistake and regretted her actions. From then on, their relationship was never the same. They tried to patch things up and restore their relationship to its former glory, but it wasn't easy. Antonio even considered retaliating against Angela to alleviate his disappointment, but he couldn't bring himself to do so. They continued to struggle to keep their family together. But fate had other plans. In the end, they decided to part ways amicably. The wounds left by Angela were unforgettable for Antonio. The apartment that had once witnessed their long journey was now empty, with memories Antonio would cherish forever. And finally, the film ended.